What up, Raffleaters? Welcome back to my channel. As I promised before, I told you I would bring you an update on what's happening here on Dennis Street. This is the continuation of Sheriff Street. I actually made a video a couple of days ago on the widening of Sheriff Street, but here we are on the continuation of Sheriff Street. Sheriff Street changes names to Dennis Street. So this is Dennis Street, continuation of Sheriff Street. Sorry, I said Sheriff Street. What I'm in the UK is Lamaha Street. So Lamaha Street changes names to Dennis Street. So that is Sheriff Street. We're looking at Sheriff Street out there. And this is Dennis Street. The continuation of Dennis Street is Lamaha Street. I did a video recently on Lamaha Street, widening of Lamaha Street. And I promised in that video to show you what's happening with the east end of Lamaha Street, which is Dennis Street. So this is what they did. They built the retaining wall. The retaining wall is complete. So now what they need to do is to backfill this retaining wall with sand and then pave the road. So this is as far as they got, I think, at the end of 2023, and they haven't started working on it yet in 2024. And that's Campbellville, right? So this is also Campbellville. I think this is called, which section is that? Section K? No, section K is further down. This is between Dennis Street and Duncan Street in Campbellville. This is what it looks like now before it's completed. That is widening this part of Dennis Street in Campbellville. That is a continuation of Lamaha Street. Right, if I said Sheriff Street, I misspoke. This is a continuation of Lamaha Street. And as you can see, there's still piles of sand on the road. And that sand, I guess, is eventually going to be spread as the foundation for this road. On the other side, I don't remember the name of that street. It's an interesting name though. Derry Street, I think. On the other side, that's Derry Street. Derry Street in Campbellville. And so when they actually complete this widening of this road, it's going to become, I suppose, a thoroughfare linking Lissingen Road and Sheriff Street. Right, because what they're replacing is a very narrow street. This used to be a pretty narrow street, and it's now being made wider, possibly much more useful for connecting across the city. I have no idea how long it's going to take to complete this, but I expect sometime in 2024 they'll complete widening and bringing it down. But for now, they've built the retaining wall and they're backfilling it. I suppose there's some sewage lines and some water lines that have to be connected, as I can see. Right, that's looking back towards Sheriff Street. And once they've completed the connection of these sewage lines and water lines, I think they'll be ready to backfill and complete the construction. The intersection coming up here is Middleton Street. And like I said, Lamaha Street turns north onto Middleton Street and then continues. Once you cross over the train line, it becomes Lamaha Street again. Interesting way to name the city. This is also interesting that they managed to narrow this section of the street again. It would be nice if they made a wide road all the way through to Lissingen. But it seems as if they're just narrow section here as you approach Middleton Street. But this is it, guys. This is what's happening in this section of Georgetown, Campbellville, Lamaha Street, which becomes Dennis Street at this point. and they've built retaining walls. On the other side, that's Lamaha Street. We actually saw the front section at the end towards the St. John Road, and we see that they've built a retaining wall on that side and backfilled it. And it seems as if there's a lot of work still needing to be done. Right, as we cross over here, as we cross over Middleton Street. This is now back on Lamaha Street, and they're building a retaining wall. They're still building a retaining wall. It's still, I don't know how they're going to complete it, but it's a bit narrower than it was on Dennis Street. Morning. So it seems as if they're going to build a retaining wall, but there's not a whole lot of room to widen this section of Lamaha Street. Right, you see, they've actually completed a fair amount of the retaining wall. But I guess they're just preserving, right? They're just going to preserve the morning structures. Somebody was asking about the houses on Lamaha Street. These are some of the houses on Lamaha Street. So some people say they recognize the place where they used to live. I don't know if you see your house here. You can leave me a comment below. As they start up for work today here on Lamaha Street. These guys are still excavating. It's all about excavation. So this is the stage of work. The state of work on Lamaha Street as we head towards the St. John Road. A lot of road construction lies ahead, and it's still being worked on. These guys are doing some construction work. And excavation. Right, they're having to remove a lot of the soil before they can build those retaining walls. And so this is what's happening. For those of you who wanted to know how this work is coming along on Lamaha Street, this is what's happening out here. They're still widening the street. It seems it's not going to be consistently the same width all the way through to Sheriff, but at least it's going to be wider in general and even wider in some sections. On this side it's Newtown, and on the other side, right, that's Kitty. Newtown and Kitty in Lamaha Street. Morning. But this is what's potentially going to look like. It's potentially going to look like a wider street. They've already put up some new street poles. These lamp poles are now made of concrete, as you can see. And hopefully you're going to be able to get 2 lanes of traffic on this street instead of what seems to be only 1 lane. Right, way up ahead there, that's the St. John Road, and this is what the street, that is Lamaha Street, looks like before completing the widening works. So that's it, guys. So those of you who used to live on Lamaha Street and wanted, some people asked me to show them the buildings so that they could actually see the places that they used to live. Some people have left, you know, 40, 50 years ago and have nostalgic memories of this neighborhood. It's one of the tightest residential neighborhoods in the city at one point. This is what it looks like in 2024 as they widen the streets. This one being Lamaha Street. Alright, so last time we were here, I think I showed you a couple of days ago up to this point. Right, that's where the trade line road begins and where the trade line Embankment Park ends. And I showed you the street has been widened where they built the retaining wall and backfilled it with red sand. And that much has been completed. But now you have a full idea of how much remains to be done, how much has been completed, and how much remains to be done. Right, that's that side, that's Kitty. That's the park, right? The Lamaha Street Embankment Park. And these are the homes here in Lamaha. So this is what the wide road looks like. Walking. And as you can see, it's a whole lot wider than it was. At least 3 times as wide as it was before. So that's it, guys. That's what's happening in this neck of the woods. The widening of Lamaha Street as we walk from Sheriff Street to Lexington Road. Remember, the name changes to Dennis Street once you go past Middleton, but this section of it is called Lamaha Street. And you can see there's a bit of progress. It's slow, or I guess it's continuous, and that's what matters. Want to see more content like this? Click like and subscribe. In the comments below, tell me what you think about this renovation project in Georgetown, widening of Sheriff Street. Sorry, widening of Lamaha Street. I keep saying Sheriff Street because I came off of Sheriff Street. This is the widening of Lamaha Street and Dennis Street in Georgetown. And this is the neighborhood that some of you remember living in the 1960s and 50s, as some people have requested. Share this video with friends and family around the world. Let people know what's happening here in Georgetown, Guyana, the fastest growing economy in the world. And I mean that. It's actually growing at about 34-35% per annum this year. GDP will actually surpass Trinidad, hit 20 billion for the first time, and quite possibly top out around 27 billion by the end of the year. Later!